Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Gillian Berry, and today we have an absolutely incredible interview for you guys. I am so excited. We have Kartika and Eustace from the Expand Love channel. They are incredible. They are currently living off grid. They are raw vegans who are absolutely thriving. So I'm excited to share a little bit of their off grid experience and also their before and after raw vegan sort of transformation stories, how they're making it work, and things that have happened for them along the way. And I first met them a few nights ago when I did an interview for their channel. And I actually found them just so high vibe, happy, incredible, such magnetic people with such interesting stories. So I couldn't wait to get them on the channel. I know you guys are going to love them. So you're going to want to stick around till the end. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up right now. Be sure to subscribe if you don't already, because I create great content every single week. And let's get right into it. How are you guys today?
Hey, we are
Hey,
doing very good.
happy to be here. Happy to be on your channel, and we're also very inspired by your channel as well, and all the work that you do as well.
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
so much. You guys are awesome. So, like I said, I first met you the other night. So, the other night when we are on reverse timeline. So right now it's the morning in Toronto. You guys are in India. You live in the mountains in India, and it's the evening. But when we did it the other night, I saw the beautiful landscape of the mountains. So I will link the video we did below. But
Yes.
it's so beautiful there. So what sort of before we get into like your raw vegan story, what sort of led you to living off grid? Maybe it was the raw vegan story. And how are you making that work? Like, do you like it? What's going on? And for people who don't know, like, what is off-grid living as well?
Okay, awesome. So basically, off the grid is that we are living not on anything for our basic resources provided by the government. So we have our own solar system from which we get electricity. We are completely like away from the city. We are living in nature. So we have our own forest, eucalyptus forest, and yeah, I think these are the two things that are the main thing in off the grid living. But like you can expand it to not having internet, so we are living, we don't have any electromagnetic radiations around us. We don't have any network coming around our house. And yeah, and this is the off-grid living that we are doing. What inspired, I think individually we got inspired to do that in the off in our also growing our own food. So we want to be sustainable for all our energy needs. So water comes from the land, and then we have our own electricity coming from the solar power system. And we're growing our own food. We're still on the journey. We're not growing everything, but because it takes time to, grow food, of course.
Mhm.
Eustace is the, permaculture farmer that is who's really helping us. And probably Eustace can first what inspired him, and then I can share my story as well.
Yeah, and to begin with, yeah, I'd say raw food actually brought us to this place quite a bit. I would say it's one of the biggest reasons as well. So in beginning, when we met like around 2.5 years ago, me and Kartika. But before that, I was uh, living in Denmark, and I was got interested in permaculture as well. So I was learning a lot about how to grow your own food and how to do it in the most sustainable way as well. And what I learned as well that there is so much of the food that is grown in conventional way is not the best for our health, and it's not the best for the environment as well. So it's very important that we with our actions have a positive impact rather than negative impact. So when I was in Denmark, I started collecting some seeds. I started doing some small garden in my backyard, and that was around the time as well when I was doing my first juice fast as well. That not first, the second one. That was 100 days that I was doing at that time, and I learned that yeah, like you can grow your own food. And I wanted to travel and wanted to see, and like India was already like I traveled before as well. So I decided I will go travel to India, and I will see how where the universe takes me basically. Because I felt that like living in Denmark at that time, it was not really fulfilling my needs and desires. So I decided I'll go to travel to India and see where it takes me. And grow. I was interested in permaculture, so I when I reached India, like I suddenly found universe brought like this place, this permaculture place. So for 1 month I was volunteering there, and then at that time, my friend is calling me and saying He's going to these mountains and he's buying the land. He wants to basically live off the grid and everything. So I was like, wow, that sounds amazing. And he also offered me to come with him basically. So what I did, I said, yeah, why not? Like, let's go. So like universe brought me this person. His name is Vishnu. So he came, picked me up, and we went to these mountains here. So this is called Palani Hills in south of India. And this is where, like, the one of the bigger places that in these mountains are actually called Kodaikanal, and it's a very beautiful place. It's not so hot as compared to other places around. So what we did, like, my friend was buying the land, and we created a community, and this community is called Gaia Expanding Consciousness. And right now it's active, and it's off the grid community, not out of the grid. It's a decentralized community. So in many cases, people create communities in one place, but our community is actually spread out in many different places. It's actually a global community. So what we're doing is, like, we are trying to expand the consciousness of everyone around us, basically. And we are all doing this in different ways. So, like, someone is like me, for example. We're making our own sustainable food forest. We're doing retreats also. We are teaching people as well how to live more sustainably, more healthier, and we're trying to be the best version of ourselves, because we believe that the best way to change the world is to basically upgrade yourself as much as you can. And then, like, we learned about, me and Kartika as well, that, like, it's very one of the most effective ways to do it, actually. When you do it yourself, when you do things for yourself. And Kartika is really kind of a best teacher for expanding love, and that's why the channel is called Expand Love. And loving yourself, like, self-love is one of the most important things that is missing right now in society. So when we and Vishnu came, we started planting some trees, and that was 2018 November. So that was the first time we came to these mountains here. So it's more than 3 years now that we are actually started doing these things here. And living off the grid is one of the, how to say, it's not the easiest things to do, because you are really cut off from, like, the comforts of that, the city, and being able to just, like, take your phone and get the food to your doors and things like that. But for us, we really love it. So we are doing this, and we build some natural houses. I'm also an architect. I was studying architecture in Denmark as well. So we built some natural houses, and natural building is one of my passions as well. So what we're doing as well, like, we're building the houses from natural materials.
Wow.
So the food part is one of the most important parts, because it's really hard to get, like, high quality food. The food is grown in the soils that is not the soil is depleted. And so what you're doing, trying to work with the soil. The soil is actually one of the most important parts of this planet Earth. And Earth is also the same. One name means two things. It's the planet and also the dirt. So so for me and Kartika, we bought this land 1 year ago, and we started planting the fruit trees around also 1 year ago. And we built a house in 1 month. So we built our own house in 1 month, which is, like, really amazing for us, because, like, it's really cheap. And also, like, we build it from the materials, like, around 99% of the materials came from the land itself. So it's like, and we really love it. Like, it's mud house, it's basically mud, stone, and wood is the main sources. And eucalyptus trees are, like, very sustainable to use as the construction. So we are when you cut the eucalyptus tree, new trees start coming from the same tree, basically. So, and also it's invasive species around here. So by cutting those trees and planting some other trees in between those trees, we are actually improving on the ecology of the entire place. So I got kind of expanded, but it's a very long kind of story. And, like, we went through, like, really amazing experiences in the last 3 years. Yeah, and then Kartika also joined us, and then me and Kartika were living right now in this place, in this is a small village only. We have around probably like 1,000 people only that are living in the village, and everyone knows us because like we are doing something unique. Most people are actually doing like basically pretty much everyone is doing only chemical farming, so they're using chemical fertilizers, they're using pesticides. And here in India, the other problem is that there is no regulations, so people can be spraying lots of different chemicals that are really harmful for human health. So in other
And I
countries,
guess
like let's say Canada,
I think every
yes,
country's different with that, I guess, right?
yes.
Yeah, but
So
even
the,
so, I
the
mean, even I think in Canada, where I am in Toronto, I think when it's organic, I've heard there's still sprays on it and stuff. So I mean, you guys are taking it to the next level living like this, right? And I think it's amazing.
yes.
Do you think you will do this for the long term, or do you think you will go back to the other type of the just like
Oh,
regular living?
I think there is no going. No, I think there's no going back. It's so beautiful. It has healed us so much. And like one of the reasons that I decided to do this was also that minimalism. So I really want to nurture Mother Earth and decrease my carbon footprint. And just like eating raw food is so much easier. I think I
Mhm.
could become a raw food, a raw vegan, because I am like so cut off from all the temptations around. Like we have to walk like by car. We can like go in like 7 minutes to the nearest place to get stuff, but there are no proper shops around here, even to get anything. Like you
Our
would,
Yeah.
village has like two shops, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, and then there are no restaurants, like
Yes.
no restaurants at all. So it's like so easy to be a raw vegan when you're living off the grid. And your environment shapes so much. And like just that there's no network, and like the lights just get off in the night. It's pitch dark. I sleep so well, and I think I was never sleeping this well in my life after I
Wow.
became a teenager. So like it's like so much holistic healing. The air is so fresh. Oh my god, it's like I can see like my mental clarity is like so much more because of the environment. So
Yeah,
I
not
don't
as
think
much
there's that.
I feel like because it's
Yeah.
not as much stimulation and you're more in sync with Mother Nature.
Oh, so much, so much.
Yes.
And we're also barefoot, like because it's so
Yeah.
clean. So we just like live barefoot completely. When we go to the
Wow.
city, I sometimes like wear shoes if it's not clean and all. But like in our area, and I think Eustace like never wears it.
Yeah.
So we
2nd February was actually like 2 years that I haven't worn shoes. Like
he
And you
really
get
literally a
used to it,
lot.
like your feet really
Yes.
toughen up and you get used to it, right? And I've heard what like I see you have popular videos about being barefoot and like it's called grounding too, right? Like it gives you
yes,
like an electric
yes,
charge when you're barefoot with the earth. I've heard. Like I've heard
exactly.
if you're stressed out, like maybe go
Yeah.
outside in a grass field or at the beach or anywhere, like remove your shoes and like you instantly feel like de-stressed and recharged, right?
Exactly, exactly. So basically, it also helps you with decreasing inflammation. So it's really, really good for health, like because inflammation and lack of negative charge in the body is what causes diseases also. And also, you get in touch with the circadian rhythm of the planet. So you get in sync, and then when you sleep better, you just relax. And when you're relaxed, life is good, man. What else do you need?
Wow.
Yes.
What an amazing story. I love how it's totally working for you guys. I feel like the raw vegan diet is so powerful as it is, but I feel like even without that, you guys would probably notice huge changes, even if you weren't raw vegan, even if you were eating some cooked, just with all these other changes. But I want to ask too, like you guys have had very interesting raw vegan journeys. So I'll start with Kartika. So I saw too, like I know what exactly did you start cutting? I think did you start with cutting sugar? I know you cut sugar and salt. Like I'd like to talk about how that was when you cut those because I know a lot of people struggle with cutting sugar and salt. I have a lot of people on my channel that are like the cravings are too intense. So have you given up those completely and how was that part of the journey?
Well, I have given up both, and I think it didn't like sugar was never a problem to cut off so much. And I basically I did a juice fast. So I did a juice fast in 2018, and that is when probably I started like cutting out on sugar. That was pretty easy, but just 8 months before I cut out on salt, and like my God, salt is so addictive. It was difficult. And I lost so much weight. Like I saw such big change in my face. Like it looks pretty like fine now because I think I've done with like pushing it out of my system. It's already been 8 months, but like I just like shrank down, and I was like, oh my god, I look so strange suddenly. And also I felt like so much mental clarity, like I can, it's like it's a feeling, but I'm very certain that like leaving salt has had a very very big impact on my health. So like
Wow.
all the water that was like stored in also went away. And I think it has brought in a lot of mental clarity. I think raw food I really, really love because of the way it makes me feel. It's like health benefits you get, but like the mental clarity is like the most important reason why I am, I've decided to be raw. So
And
I
when
think
you
this,
went raw, did you notice a lot of benefits right away?
yes, yes. I decided I became raw completely. I would say with the juice fast only. I was eating a lot of raw food as soon as I met Eustace, and I was already feeling like I was traveling all around Europe solo, and I was eating raw food, and I could feel how my energy was so much more different because especially when you're traveling, you go in airplanes, you would eat all this like fried stuff, and you just feel completely different if you're on raw food. Like I was in the planes, I had so much energy, I was like completely like high vibration traveling through Europe, so happy. And later, like as I transitioned, what was the question? Sorry.
Did you notice
um
it's okay, I do that
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Did you notice
sorry,
a lot
sorry.
of benefits?
Yes, yes. Yeah, and then as soon as you, the question was like how soon you got it. So then I was doing a juice fast because I really wanted to, like I could feel, I was living in Hanoi, and I could feel like the pollution was getting onto me, and I was not feeling very healthy. I had like lots of skin issues. I had this problem called contagion molluscum on my skin, which was not going off for like 4 or 5 months. I think February to October it was there. I still remember because it was so traumatic. I'm like, man, this is not going. And 1 week in the juice fast, it was gone. Like for months, it
Wow.
was there, and it was so stressful for me because skin, and there were so many things. Like I had gums, like my gums were like very delicate. I have the best gums now. Like in my family, people have had teeth issues, and like it's so good. I mean, and then what else was there? My eyesight has improved. I had glasses for most of my life since I was in grade 12, and just in the last 8 months, they have like my eyesight power has improved. Yeah, I think most of these were the health factors. I also had like didn't have any major problem in my body, but like had some other small thing going on. My skin was not clear on my face as well. I had pimples coming out. That's gone completely. I think my skin is like very very fresh and like clear. There is like a stark difference that you can see
Yeah,
from before to
and Kartika
after.
is not wearing any makeup for like a
Yeah,
long time now.
yeah.
You don't
I
need
mean,
any. You look beautiful. And did you need, like,
thank
when you transitioned, was it hard? Like, I know a lot of people have a hard time like transitioning and staying on track. Was it difficult for you as
yeah.
far as the cravings go at first or no?
Yeah, I mean, cravings as well. There was a time when I was eating like boiled potatoes in the night just for my cravings, and like I would see the energy like go down so much after eating that. So I got out of it. Vegetable police was also doing it, I think. And then
Sta-
um
some starch in the evening, yeah.
yes, yeah, and I also like had a lot of like health problems that came in while I was transitioning. So there was this one time when I had like lots of pain in my back, like lower back. It was because I was eating fruit, and suddenly I ate a lot of roasted peanuts, like a lot of it, because I had cravings. And oh my god! And then I had to do dry fast because I just like I could only drink coconut water to feel better. Like even normal water would not feel okay, and I had problems like urinating. Like it's just like it was so difficult, and so I did dry fast. I
For
didn't
how
want to go
long?
to
How
the
long did you
hospital.
dry fast for? For how
I
long?
think it was 44 hours,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
yeah, 44 hours, and then later I did it for 1 month every day for like 16 to 18 hours. And people
Wow.
say that when you have kidney problems, don't go. I think it was my kidneys that were hurting, and I don't know. I'm just guessing. I really like to go by my intuition. I don't like hospitals at all, and like my experience in Vietnam and hospitals is something that also inspired me to be raw, because like I don't they don't care at all, and I just feel so insecure putting my body in someone else's hand, and I really like being, like, okay, I know what is happening with my body. And with raw food, it's like, if I'm not feeling good, I know that, there's a change in food and what to do, just fast. Like, it's so self-reliant, and that's something that I really love about it. So I've had, like, I also had numbness in my body. Like, when I would sleep, I would feel numb in my legs while I was transitioning. But there's something that, there's a feeling that can tell you that you're doing the right thing, because you just feel so good. Like, I never felt so good other than like on raw food. So I knew that this was the right thing to do. I felt like little bit doubts were all, like, coming in here and there, but I think Eustace really helped me to go through them. So yeah, I think transitioning was difficult for me. Not so much. I know for people it can be really hard. I've had my share, but that's why I also don't want to go back to salt, because I don't want to go through all that, problems of transitioning into raw food again, or like going through that addiction once again.
And
Yeah.
so how long have you been raw now? And you're 100% raw now?
Yes. So
Yeah.
for last eight months, I am 100% raw. Last 2 years, I was high raw vegan. So for a long time, when I did the juice fast, and after that, for like 5-6 months, maybe I was raw again. And then I kind of like experimented with cooked food and saw my vibration going down. But last 8 months, I'm like completely raw. Maybe 1%, like here and there, I tasted something. But like, I don't eat salt. I don't eat anything processed. I sometimes go high on fat. I eat coconuts when they're available, but mostly fruits I'm eating. I would say 80% of fruits.
And I think you have a video where you tested and you only ate fruits and nuts, right? For a
Yeah,
period or
yes.
no? So how did you feel
Yes.
when you did that? I know I feel really happy when I'm eating a lot of fruit and like nuts, like walnuts, they lift your mood. How did you feel when you did that?
Yeah, I mean, fruits I feel the best on. As I increase my fats, I kind of start feeling bad. Um, I love cashews, but I don't think they're raw completely. And this is what I read on 80-10-10 as well, that like most of the nuts are not raw. So I like to
Mhm.
mostly eat coconut, and like not eat walnuts and other processed nuts, you can say. So I eat them very less, and I didn't feel very good on walnuts. Maybe they were just not the best brand or something. Cashews, I don't feel so bad, but it's very, very addictive. Very addictive. Coconuts also, I think coconuts is the nut that I feel most comfortable in, because I can see that it's not processed at all. It comes like in the nut form, like just as the seed. So I feel really awesome. Only fruits, and I do eat nuts. Like, mostly this is what I eat even now. So at my last meal, I'd like eat a little bit of nuts. Yeah, and I try to keep nuts less as possible. But I
Mhm.
think this is also my transitioning. I'm transitioning into only eating fruits. I think that's the best thing to do so far in my experience. But like, why not, like, enjoy some nuts while I'm on the way? Don't
Yeah.
mind it. Don't want to be
And I
too
feel like
restrictive. Yeah.
it'll only get better. Like I mean, that's been the
Yes.
case for me, just and for a lot of people. It just you see more and more improvements as you go on and you feel better. And I would
Yeah.
love to talk to Eustace now too about your journey with raw veganism and sort of what started that. Did you have health problems or like what was your journey and what benefits did you notice when you transitioned?
Well, my journey with being raw vegan started in 2017. And before that, I was vegetarian already for around 4.5 years as well. So I watched a documentary called Earthlings first, and then for ethical reasons, I became vegetarian basically. And the thing is that I didn't stop basically in the like it was for me, it was like slower transition, because I never really had anyone around me who was doing the same thing. Like so the when you have someone who is already doing it, it's a bit easier. But when you do it by yourself for the first time and you're the first vegetarian in your family, in your group of friends, it's a bit more tough, because you need to do experiments yourself. You need to do your own research and everything. So I became vegetarian, and then 2017 I watched a documentary called Cowspiracy. Probably like most of the people who went vegan know about this documentary as well. So and then I felt a huge sense of relief, after watching this documentary, that I don't have to consume dairy and eggs anymore. And the I was consuming these things. Dairy I was addicted to, actually, and eggs I had a belief of like animal protein, that it's higher quality and things like that. So I came from the background also was bodybuilding before. Like right now I think around 56, 60 kilos. And before that, when I was 18, 19, I was even 86 kilos at one time. And I was doing bodybuilding, lifting heavy weights and things like that. And my uh, how to say, experience with food was much more from the kind of the athletic perspective, rather than health. And what happened when I became vegan, just in first few days, I noticed such a improvement in my digestion, that it was really how to say, I never had proper bowel movement, I realized. So for like first 24 years of my life, I would always be either constipated or would have diarrhea, basically. So and then I realized that I'm feeling so good. The food is moving through me so well, that I realized that my health must I can improve on my health quite a bit more. So I decided to will do more research, go deeper into the subject of health. And very soon I found John Rose, and he was talking about juice feasting and raw food, and how it's a specific diet. So I decided I'll do some juice feasting as well myself. So first time I did 14 days, and it was not the best. I was doing it with the blender and just straining things out, and it was very kind of uncomfortable. I did it also the first time, actually, it was in India. At that time I was living in Denmark, and I traveled to India, and then I did 14 days. And before also the for the question, what did I have some health issues? So when the digestion was one thing. Another thing was that I had basically I learned about that if you have a lot of dairy, as you are a teenager, you have 300 to 400% higher chance of developing prostate cancer in later years. So, and for me, what was happening, that I was having lots of pain inside my in my gut, not lots, but sometimes I would have sharp pains. And then also I was having some sensitivity in my testicles as well. So no, when I was sitting and things like that, I would feel uncomfortable sometimes. And no, this thing, when I stopped consuming dairy, very soon I realized that no, all of these things started no, declining and disappeared really quickly as well. And even then I was eating lots of fruits. I would be eating big watermelon and making smoothies, and would be having only one cooked meal in the evening as well. So my diet was quite healthy for quite a long time. Even when I was a kid, I was also consuming much more vegetables and fruits than most people would as well. So I actually never had any pharmaceuticals really in my life, so that I'm really lucky and happy that my parents were so wise to not to put me into the pharmaceutical kind of drugs and things like that. I never spent the day in the hospital as well. So I had some things where I twisted my ankle a few times, or twisted my wrist, for example. But all those things are my parents just oh, you will heal, just you rest and things like that. So I'm very happy with that. That I never got really heavy because a lot of people go through a lot of antibiotics and a lot of different pharmaceutical drugs, basically. So when I was at that time, 2017, at the end of the year, I went to India. I did the 14 days juice fast, and then broke it also not so perfectly. I had indigestion, and no, I cooked some, I think, tapiocas or something like that, some tubers, that I didn't cook them properly also. So I
And
fast
that's
after
what you
14
broke.
days.
So you cooked those, and then that's how you broke the juice fast?
No, not.
Oh, okay.
I broke it with lots of other fruits before that, but my
Yeah, okay.
the evening dinner time,
Okay.
I was feeling
Yeah.
oh, I want to eat more food and things like that. So
Yeah.
so so I made a salad, and then I had some of these tubers on the how to say, on the side, basically, and
I
then,
see.
and then I ate all of that, and then I had indigestion problems and things like that. So So I was like after that fast, after that 14 days of juice feasting, I had lots of like gas coming out and things like that. So I realized that I made some mistakes. I realized that I didn't do it properly, and I was happy that I didn't go for like much longer. I realized that the experience that I had of these 14 days of having only these juices gave me like much more experience, and I need to prepare myself more. So I did much more research, and then I went back to Denmark, and that was the 2018 January, end of January, when I started doing my 100-day juice fast. And at that time already, like I was eating mostly also raw food, just having also maybe one cooked meal in the evening. And I was doing it, and also it was very cold. It was like -5 degrees Celsius, and I was working also at the same time. So I was able to do my work also, and also do the juice feasting at the same time. So I did it like 100 days. Um, I finished, I think, in April or May. I don't remember exactly right now. But I did the 100 days, and then for the rest of the year, not the rest of the year, until basically when I came to India, I was eating only raw food as well. And then when I came to India, like when I was volunteering in this permaculture place, it was like very kind of off the grid, but I was not able to get the fruits. So I was eating only like cooked food, basically, some bananas here and there, basically. So I gained lots of weight very fast in 1 month. Like I have some pictures actually. Like it's like I went like from being quite thin, and then like kind of like inflamed like really fast. Because we had our own chef, like in the place where I was volunteering, like we had our own chef, and this chef would be making amazing Indian dishes, like very spicy, like and everything. And I gained like lots of weight, and then when I went here to Palani Hills, I again like was like, oh man, we have to eat fruits, man. Like, and I inspired Vishnu also to eat more fruits and everything. So we started getting more fruits from the market and eating like local fruits and everything. And the fruits here are like really amazing. We're eating this custard apples, for example, that they're so sweet. They're like taste like sugar. It's like it's amazing. Like we will be just like eating lots of them and like getting like all different fruits from the market as well.
Mangoes.
Wow.
Mangoes and yeah. At that time it was not a mango season, so it was the custard apple season. Watermelons we were getting, also papayas. All the amazing fruits, like here in India we get local fruits. We don't get India basically. So we were eating all these fruits, and then I started losing more weight and everything, and then like went back to basically eating more and more raw food again. That was the time when I was eating the most of the cooked foods, basically, like that 1 month. And then after that, basically, I was eating also only like mostly raw food. And in 2020, no, 2019, me and Kartika, we did like
60 days of juice
60 days juice fast. So
Wow.
it was in Hanoi, and the thing is that Hanoi, Vietnam, which is like one of the most polluted cities you can find. So like we had hazardous levels of pollution, air pollution, quite most of the time actually.
Wow.
So we even had to buy
air cleaner.
air cleaner. Like there is this air cleaner that it like takes the air and filters it out, and like
So bad.
So we were doing at these kind of conditions, we were doing our juice fast. But like the things that like we were staying more inside, just because like if you go outside on the street, we got bicycle, for example. I got a cycle, so I would go cycling, and just because of breathing a bit more heavy in that traffic and in that you like it's like crazy. You have so much mucus coming out. Like your body is trying to cleanse itself all the time. And there are people who have like respiratory issues like crazy in that place.
I was living there for 1.5 years, and like for 1 year I had constant like mucus coming out, and as soon as I came back to India, in 1 week it was gone.
Yeah, we came back directly, like basically here.
Yeah. And that was also one of the reasons, like like being in such a polluted place, that I decided to like I valued fresh air so much, and also like my health was declining because of that, and that kind of inspired me to like take some actions towards my health and become raw vegan. Go ahead.
So we did 60 days. That was the end of 2019, and then I told Kartika, the staying here, it's not really like healthiest thing to do, basically. So let's go back. Let's go to India. Let's go to these mountains. Let's let's get some land. Let's start planting some trees. And it's like we and Kartika got connected really well together like that, because it's our our very common purpose actually to care for the soil, to care for for our health as well, and to do the best we can do. So we went here and we started looking for basically we were living in one place before, and then we started looking for the land that we can buy for ourselves basically. So it took us some time, and actually at that time what happened that lockdown started happening, and then Kartika was working in Vietnam, and she left just at the right time. It was February 2020 that we actually reached this place. And
March they shut down.
and March
We
March
were so lucky.
yes.
We were really
Wow,
lucky to come
yeah.
back here.
And there were other people who like so Kartika was teaching children English basically in Vietnam, and other other teachers in Vietnam, they got
Lost
stuck,
their
and
job,
then
yeah.
they lost their jobs. They had to stay there, and then had to pay for all of their expenditure. While we came here, we were like
And we had the community and like full fresh air,
yes,
living in like the heavenliest place on the planet.
there
So
is
we were
some
like
tourism
very,
happening in some of these places, and what happened that
tourism was also gone
everything
out.
got shut down, and then we were
Yeah.
eating also at that time also we're eating mostly raw food as well,
Yeah.
like
90%. Yeah.
90% I would say, yes. And then some Kartika was actually eating more raw food sometimes than me.
Wow.
But basically what happened that we're living in these hills, and then there is no one, basically they got shut down, and the people cannot enter these mountains, and we are kind of like living in this there is no tourists, nothing, and we had the entire place for ourselves. There was local people, local villagers, and then there were like me, Kartika, and then a few German friends as well. And we were staying in this beautiful place next to the lake in the mountains. Elevation is around 1,900 meters up, and we had the entire year basically where we were getting how to say, we had just for ourselves. So we spent that year of
Yeah.
2020 just working on ourselves,
Yeah.
rather than
Amazing. Amazing.
yes. So for us, everything worked out in the
Really
best way.
divine, synchronized manner. And I think raw food does that, it just brings you good things.
Yes, it's like
Yeah.
manifestations are happening
So fast.
so fast. Kartika has lots of amazing stories where she thinks about a person, and then that person calls just the same day or next day, or she has a dream about that person, and then and that person could be Kartika didn't talk to for 6 months, 8 months, or 1 year, or things like that. And then the
And
connection
Kartika, did you always feel like that connection, like thinking about that person, or do you feel like that has been magnified now that you're raw, or now that you're living in nature, like you feel that happens more now?
Well, it has magnified multifold because of food as well as living in nature. And I really think food has a really strong part to play. I would not be able to enjoy nature so much if I was not eating this good food. Like the connection with nature deepens so much more just because of eating well, because you're feeling good in the body. And like my spirituality has definitely like deepened so much more because of raw food. It's so much more easy to like be like loving, to be in a higher vibration, to meditate, to focus. Like clarity of mind is so amazing. I went through like severe anxiety, like really, like I was almost of losing my mind. I think 6 years before or something, I was vegan at that time. But like as I told you before also, veganism doesn't like translate to being healthy at all. You can eat really unhealthy food. So that is the time when I started working on my inner self and being like really working into affirmations, changing my mind, subconscious mind reprogramming, and so much more. Like self-care became and self-love became a very intrinsic part of my life. I changed my food. Oh my god, it was such a huge step, so fast.
You ask why didn't I do that before?
Yeah.
I had to put so much
Yeah.
effort. It's like you're driving a car, and then the car has empty tires. It's like it's okay, no problem. I can keep on going, and then and then until you inflate the tires, you're like, oh my god, I should have done this before. Now I can go like full speed, it's like
Yeah, exactly.
so it's such an important part of the our body, what the fuel we put in our body is one of the most important parts, basically. Yeah,
a clean body is the
Yes.
best vessel for meditation, for reaching out to higher energies, like for being in higher energy. Like your vessel is clean, and it's like it's just the perfect path, then you just like bang on. You don't have to struggle to be in like loving. I could be in loving vibration, but I had to really like, it was like like, and now it's like, hey, yay, like, it's happening automatically. And there's so much presence, especially when I left salt and all the other kinds of mixing of like wrong combinations and everything, and started eating more fruit only. Before we were making like heavy salads and all, but like just with fruits also, it's like so much easier to like be in higher vibration and be in the presence. Like it just automatically is there, you're present. That is something really beautiful, I
Yes.
think, that comes with
You're
raw food.
it's so well said. It is just automatic. Like you don't have to try to
Yes.
like be present and feel good and feel loving when you're eating super clean like that. Like you said, like the high fruits and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You're in that state naturally. It's not like it's
Yes.
effortless, which is amazing. And so I would love to know, what are you guys currently eating in a day?
So it's different for both of us. I could tell first and then maybe Eustace can go. I usually start, like, we do intermittent fasting, 16, 18 hours, probably sometimes even more. And then we start our day with either coconut water or juicy fruits like juices. Like whenever we are feeling that we have more time, then we drink juices, like a lot of it, maybe 1 or 2 liters also sometimes. And after that, like throughout the day, like I would take like 2 fruit meals. So maybe I would take papaya, and I eat 2 papaya or 1 papaya. And then when I'm hungry again, I would eat 2 pineapples maybe. And then after that, like I do take some most of the time, I would say I eat like a little bit of nuts. So coconut is what I eat. This is mostly my food. And
Yes.
then Eustace can share.
Well, I actually, I want to add to a last question, like, because I haven't finished, but like frankly, in 2020, like, in May, I did 14 days of juice fast, which kickstarted basically my like completely raw food journey again. So since then, I was eating only raw food. So it's gonna be like 2 years basically that I am only eating raw food. But
Wow.
what happened that like I was eating a lot of nuts and I was eating a lot of salt, and then I was making this kind of like spicy mixtures as well. I got a bit of the kind of addiction to like salty, spicy kind of thing, because here in India it's very popular. The spicy food is very popular. They have these masalas and everything, so you can just
And
buy
it's
this powder.
delicious. I gotta say, it's really delicious. So
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So I would basically cut up some onion, cut up some garlic, add some maybe some lady's finger. It's very popular here in India. Not too many veggies, and also just more of the kind of like stronger flavor. Add some mustard seeds. Add some different kind of like spicier seeds. Add some of these powders as well, like, and then add some vinegar or lemon juice to that as well. And then I would eat that with my cashews. And I would eat like a big quantities at that time as well. Like I could eat like 200, 300, sometimes even like half a kilo of cashews. So it's like you can imagine eating fruits all day, like, and most like intermittent fasting, because in the morning you wake up like, oh, I ate so many cashews last night. You have to
yeah.
don't even want to eat. And then like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, would eat like a big watermelon, or like few smaller watermelons or something. And then eat some papaya maybe, or some pineapple. And then by the evening time, like what to do, like we would have some salad sometimes, like we would make big salad. But the greens are very hard to find, like here in India in the market. Like, so if you don't have greens, then you would just make this spicy mixture, eat with these cashews and everything. And I got addicted to that, and I was eating that like for some time, and until like I found Eli's channel, Eli Martyr. He is the Free Melon Society. He has a channel so I found his channel, and then he was like eating only fruits, and like I was like, oh, and what he was teaching made so much sense to me. Like it resonated so much to me. So I decided I'll do like more of the fruits only, basically. And again, I started another juice fast, and that was in June. I think the middle of June last year. And then I did 77 days of just mostly fruits only. And before that, I was eating only fruits also, like from the beginning of June, like so basically around the 20 days was already eating only fruits. And then I broke my fast just after my birthday in the September, beginning of September. And then since then I'm eating only fruits basically. Um, so right now, like my diet is more of the basically at the moment actually I'm on another juice cleanse, and this is more mono cleanse also. So like I'm having only watermelon juice at the moment. Plus, I'm having some coconut water, but from now on, I'm planning also not to have coconut water, just the watermelon juice and some basically water if I feel like it. But yeah,
This is your 7th day.
no, this is I already finished 7 days, so it's on my 8th day of the first day I still had some pineapple juice, but like now 7 days I finished with only watermelon. So mostly like in the morning I wake up, I don't really have anything until around 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I have some coconut water, maybe 6, 7, 8 coconuts. It depends on how I feel, and then a few hours later, around 1 in the afternoon, I can drink quite a bit of juice actually. I don't look very big, but there is a lot of volume inside that can fit once you clean the machine out. So so I can drink 3 liters or even more, sometimes 3.5 liters of juice in one go. And I prefer to have bigger meals like this. And what I found out, like if you don't have junk inside, like you can drink this bigger quantities. And you, otherwise, if you had like something heavier before, even like for me, I found even like if I had lots of bananas later in the evening, and I would have juice later, the juice would meet the bananas, and I would feel a little bit of discomfort, for example. But right now, I drink, for example, 3 liters of juice in one go, and then like I feel amazing. Like I don't feel any discomfort because of that. And then around I try to finish early, because otherwise I would just like at night I would have to wake up too many times and pee and so at the moment, like I usually finish around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I have another 2 liters of watermelon juice maybe. So maybe 5 liters of watermelon juice, maybe 1 to 2 liters of coconut water. So that's at the moment. But when I'm not cleanse, not on this kind of cleanse, I'm usually would have also similarly like watermelon juice in the morning, like no, not in the morning, like at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and then have maybe 1 meal or 2 meals of fruits. So I really like papaya. Actually, before that, I was doing watermelon juice, pineapple juice, and then a meal of papaya, and I would eat only one meal in a day. Sometimes, like like that would be most of the days, but sometimes I would have also like some of the like I would eat the fruits also. But for at the moment, for example, as well, like trying to keep it things very simple, and basically like last 8 months it was my probably the most watermelon, papaya, that's the biggest, and then pineapple as well. And then it depends on the season. We also have this really amazing sapotas here. Now is the sapota season as well. So but even that, bananas before I was having, and I found out it's a bit denser. So like I trying to cleanse more. So I was having a little bit of mucus coming out and things like that, like in my nose, and so I'm trying to keep it simple and try to hydrate myself more to remove more of the waste matter basically. So yeah, I think that's
Wow.
the
And with the juice, I know a lot of people say they experience like some people are scared to drink a lot of juice because they say because of their teeth. They say some people experience like enamel issues or stuff because of juice. I've drank a lot of juice. I never had. I have like not the best enamel because I had some dental problems from before being vegan. So that's nothing to do with since I've been raw. Like I never have issues with that. But have you guys experienced anything, or does like as far as your dental goes? I know Kartika, you said your gums and everything are better than ever. So, but
Yeah.
yeah?
well for me. My also dental health improved like tremendously, and I found out that the one of the best things I can suggest for people, for example, who having problems on the eating lots of fruits. I would say don't eat dry fruits. Dry fruits are they're not natural in the sense, like I would also feel that, like if I was having dates, for example, like here we get like really amazing dates, and I would be having dates, and also I would eat too much. First of all, another thing is that they are just simply like they don't have the water content, so they don't really like, and they get stuck between your teeth. So that's one of the important things. So even now, for example, I'm avoiding of eating like fruits that they have these fibers, like for example pineapple, because like sometimes they can get stuck in between your teeth, and if you don't remove them, like they will be like basically releasing, especially if the pineapple is not ripe, releasing some acids and the sugar is also it's not the sugar is the problem, or the carbohydrate in the fruits, but the bacteria that is actually like eating that sugar and eliminating that waste around your teeth. So that waste will be basically like, you can imagine, like you can take fruits and make wine from it, or like you can make alcohol basically. So that alcohol is like from fruits, but that doesn't mean that the fruit is like making that alcohol. It's the bacteria that is making that alcohol that is basically burning, can burn us, for example. So if you have some alcohol goes into your eye, you can feel that it's burning. So in the same way, the bacteria that is eating the sugars inside our mouth, they are basically releasing this gunk and the basically that white stuff. That if you have the white stuff on your teeth, it's mostly is going to be it's basically the poop of that bacteria. So it's very important that you remove that poop as much as possible, and not to have things stuck in between your teeth. Because I also had like before lots of the cavity issues and things like that. So I had fillings made and everything. And there, for example, one filling just recently, like around 3 months back, it fell out. So like that's why right now I'm also not eating the pineapple fibers, pineapples basically so much, because like if it gets stuck in between my teeth, it can cause some issues. So for example, eating papaya is like, it's really amazing. It doesn't get stuck, like pineapple, watermelon as well, and other softer kind of fruits. So avoiding the dates and other the dry fruits is really one amazing thing. And also, yeah, right now my teeth is feeling so good, and stopped using toothpaste as well. So I'm only brushing with water alone. So all I'm doing is removing all of that waste that is the bacteria is adding. And as you're cleansing, you will find that you have more of that. Like if your diet gets more of the high water content and things like that, if you simply don't brush your teeth for like a day or two, you will find that your teeth becomes like covered with this gunk. So that's why it's important to remove that gunk, even though you're not consuming anything. You could be drinking only water as well, and you will find that gunk there on your tongue, on your teeth. So one of the things that is like, and also stop adding for people, like I would say, stop using the toothpaste as much as possible, or try to find the least toxic toothpaste as possible. Because what happens that when we are brushing with this toxic toothpaste, like all of that toxins will go into your gums, into your mouth, they will be accumulated all throughout your head, and then eventually, like you will have to, like your body will try to eliminate it as well. So when these things are happening, you might have more sensitivity as well. And
And you know what else I love
yeah.
for dental care is oil pulling is really good. Coconut oil pulling. I used to do that every morning and my teeth never felt better. I have to get back in the habit of that because that's amazing. Where you swish with the coconut oil every morning and then rinse, it just removes things so well from your teeth, just like how oil does if you have stuff stuck on your hands or whatever.
Mm.
And I love that. But yeah, I think everything you said is like so true. The dried fruit is bad. Whenever I've done mono cleanses, like only eaten watermelon or only eaten grapes for a period of time, it's interesting because my dental, like my teeth and my gums have like never felt better. So yeah, I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
because of the high water content also, it's like the fruit is like really like cleansing. It's like it's really healing. It has all the minerals and everything inside the juice of it. So like when you are loading yourself only with these things that are that you can find it in nature, like that, like that's what I learned, that like just eating fruit itself, like it's also, like if you eat grapes, right, like they have these fibers that actually, that when they get stuck, actually when you remove it, it's actually also like, it's like cleaning your teeth as well. So like I think that's also like helps a lot. So but it's important, like let's say pineapple is more acidic, so like that acid, those kind of, if it's ripe, it's no problem. But if you have the pineapple, like I'm sure in Canada, like I heard that, like people are complaining that you don't really get the ripe pineapples. You get
The
pineapples
perfect
that are picked
ripeness.
not
Yeah, it's
ripe.
hard. Hmm.
And then they have this extra acid, and like I had also the same thing, like if I eat pineapple that is like picked not ripe, like if I eat too much of it, like I would have blood coming from my mouth, like it would cut my mouth basically. Like so that's why it's important to get this citrus fruit, especially at the ripe state, rather than like when they're picked too early just for the commercial reasons and things like that.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think
very
it's
important
so key. We
to
drink, we
to
eat,
navigate.
and we consume our fruits and vegetables when they're perfectly ripe. Yeah, it makes a big difference on how they affect the body and the digestion and everything.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And Kartika, I think you tried an enema recently, right? Was that a recent video I saw
Yes.
yours that you tried an enema recently?
Yes.
So that was your first enema?
Yes.
So I would
Yes.
love you to share that experience with my viewers. I'm still like I have a lot of experience with enemas and I'm still planning on making a video about that, but I know a lot of people ask me about that all the time, so I'm sure people would love to hear how your experience was with your very first enema.
Okay. Well, I did it consequently, like in the with the gap of one day, two times I did it. And I felt instantly like really good. Like I felt so light in my body and my like I was feeling sharp, my skin was glowing. But the second day, like I don't know, it's maybe because I'm only eating fruits and like a little bit of nuts. Because you mentioned that when you do enema, you kind of take like some probiotics or food that kind of helps with the gut
Yeah.
microbiome. But like I felt like a sense of loss like the next day. It was so I'm not sure. I cannot say much. I would like to try it more. Uh, but probably I wouldn't do it too often. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I like my body to like kind of take care of things. I don't like to put things much from outside. I also read this book where they say that in in ancient India people have been doing it for a long time, and I think it's very very beneficial if someone is like suffering from a disease, then you can clean the colon, and it can really help. But if people are not suffering from any illness, I don't know how important it is or how to manage with the gut microbiome. I'm not sure of it, so I cannot say much. But that day it did feel good. But I don't have a final statement for it. Like I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I would
think in
say yeah.
moderation they're okay. I think people have to be aware of the gut
Yeah.
microbiome because I feel like when you do one, you can feel really good after and it can be easy to get addicted
Yeah.
to them and be like on this cleansing
Yes.
mission and just be like these make you feel so good, but you have to watch out because your gut microbiome like you were saying. So I think in moderation
Yes.
they're okay. And like you said, if you're having like a lot of health problems like at the Gerson Institute, they
Yes.
use those and stuff like that.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for sharing. That's awesome.
Mhm.
And you guys have been
Yes.
awesome. So I would love to end it off by maybe hearing since you guys are living off grid, this is incredible. Maybe your top 3 pros and cons to off grid living.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
maybe,
pro.
and also maybe if there's somebody out there who's like considering this, maybe some advice you have for them would be awesome as well.
Yes. Uh, Number one pro would be like your health really gets awesome, like because of the nature. I mean, if you're choosing, of course, to live off the grid in nature, you can be probably not in nature as well. But because of that, like, being away from all the subconscious mind programming that we get in the city. Because if you're walking down the street, you are bombarded with advertisements, all kinds of sounds. There's so much like stress that you receive from the environment, which you have to shed, and like there's more self-care that you need. I think you that is not there, so that is the best pro that I find.
Mhm.
Like your mental health is awesome, you can connect with your inner self. Yeah, and then you want to go ahead, like we can do one, two, three, like that.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, I would say it depends on where you live, but let's say the being connected to nature and being more in tune with yourself, that this is like very important. So like like for me, walking without shoes in the place, and like knowing the place, understanding, like you have much more information coming from all the different senses, and you're using your body the way you would use in a natural environment, you could say. Of course, we still like
Mhm.
we have electricity and we have like our comforts, and but it's much less than like for most people, like when I wake up, I just like my morning routine is doing qigong or energy exercise, and then after that, like I have so much energy, I have so much time. I just do things as it's like as I need to do, and I'm on my feet the entire day, mostly like I up until the evening time. I'm just working on the land itself, working on different projects. Right now it's dry season, so we're doing more construction. In the rainy season, we're doing more planting of the trees, for example. So, like, no, you simply get you do the things that the way that you have to do the way the nature allows you. Sometimes we can have like really bad weather, like we have cyclone and strong winds and raining all the time. So at those times, it's more slow down. Like you're relaxing more. You're reading books more. You're staying more inside. You cannot simply just go outside and and it's like raining like crazy, and then you. So it's very you nature. You're in sync with nature. So I think this is one of the most beautiful things. One of them, how to say, and you kind of don't have that control of things, because now if you're sitting inside the office in a big building and you have your temperature controlled and everything, you can be there whenever, you can be there all the time, and sometimes you will be tired and people will not sleep enough, and then I will just drink some coffee and then wake myself up. But it's not the way nature intended. If you get tired, you should get rest. That's the way I see things. And in the same way, when you are doing things for yourself, you will actually have so much experience as well. So it's yeah. But I think what the main benefit I'm trying to put out is that, yeah, the just being connected to the nature, in sync with nature, and in sync with the sun, with the moon, with the day and night, with all of the different how to say energies that are around that at that time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I think one of the best pros is also that you are in such a clean environment. So like the air is fresh and the water is clean. We have our own water. We know, that water doesn't have anything. There's nothing that is like, what do you call it? Blocking your pineal gland. There is no fluoride in water or chlorine in water. So our water is clean, our air is clean, and then we're working on the food. So I think it's easier to buy land in off the grid places than in a city. It's more expensive, so you can have your own space where you can grow your food, and then you can have clean food as well, so your basic requirements are met. I think
Yes.
that is very much possible. And if someone is really looking to go off the grid, I think is to have community around you, because you can't do it alone. It's very difficult. Like if I have to fix my car, it's like a stress, and if you have to get, even to build a house is more difficult. We are off the road, so like we're completely, we chose to be like away from the world, because we also realize everything that is happening in the world with respect to government, that's not to like share so much, but with all the
Yeah.
lockdowns where you're made to like be in the house, you see how important it is to have your own. And it can get difficult if you are just alone by yourself, so having a community is really awesome. They can help you with just like support, mental support. And you could be in a new environment, so like there's a village where people are already in community, so it's best to have like more people if you're going in. And we have a very, very beautiful relationship with even the people who are like living in the village already, and we're looking to upgrade them. So I think that kind of a mindset, trying to have a positive relationship with the community which is already there, and trying to help them also grow with you, is very important. So community setup with your own gang and like the gang that you're meeting, I think is a very is a smart do, which
Yes.
we learned in the process. And like this is the con that it's difficult to get things, even if you have to build a house, or if you want to buy something, if you want to like get your laptop fixed or something. It takes time. Everything takes time. It teaches you patience, but it's so much more beautiful than being in a city. Like I love it so
Yes.
much.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you want to share some con?
Well, what we learned that is not everything that seems like negative in beginning. At the end, it's like some universe bringing you the lesson to learn from. So I would say there is a learning curve that you need to overcome. That's one of the cons. But at the same time, once you reach the peak of that curve, it's and you can see things in different perspective. It's not really a con as well.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
you have to learn things to do
It
by
teaches.
yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will have to I need to take care of my water, and then, or maybe you have some pump, but the pump is not working, or maybe it's
Yeah.
dry season, or it's
Yeah.
there's so many things. So it's like,
Even fixing the solar system was like, we had to wait so long. We had it for like months, And we had like one small solar system which we were like functioning on, but then when we had to fix the bigger system, it took so long just to like get the guy. There was some little fault, but overall, as he said, that it also teaches you how to be minimalistic. It makes you realize you need so little,
Yeah.
and it just like makes you focus like inward. So I think all cons we can say are the pros and the end. You can start
Mhm.
looking at life like that.
Well
Yeah,
said.
just
That's
shift your
Exactly.
nice. Well
perspective.
said.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
well,
I
do
think
you guys
that's
have
all we want
any
to share. Two cons are good.
Yes.
Come ahead, come
Yeah.
again.
Well, yeah. Do you guys have any more cons to share, or that was it? I wasn't sure.
No, I think cons are less so. Two cons are
Yeah.
Yes.
enough.
And I love your
Yes.
approach, like the way you guys look at it. I think that's awesome. Well, where can everybody find you? I will link it down below. You're on the Expand Love YouTube channel, correct? And is there anywhere else you want to share, or is that the main spot you want to send everybody?
I mean, that's good. I also have a website. I can share it with you. So maybe you can put the link. And then I'm on Instagram as well, @Kartika.Dubey. I think that's enough.
I'm
Yeah.
a little bit more off the grid. That's
Yeah, he's not online
I'm not
anyway.
on social media. Like I have Telegram. That's what I use. I don't even have WhatsApp or like Facebook. I a long time back stopped using those
He's
things.
just connected through me to me.
Yes.
Good for you. That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been
But
an absolute pleasure. I love you guys and I love talking to you guys. So thank you so much for coming on the channel. And I just want to say to the viewers, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I just think these are such awesome people and I'm so happy to talk to you guys. So if you guys enjoyed this, give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.
bye.